Do you guys know anyone that you think has been possessed?
2 people. I really can't divulge too much because I know these 2 people. One, I guess I can divulge. She's my neighbor, but I'm not saying which neighbor.
Not the grandma?
Yeah, that neighbor.
I think you've told us about her before.
You talked about her in like 5 episodes. Can't be a secret.
I mean, you want to respect her privacy today.
Right. I don't think
3
she
weeks
listens
ago.
because I think she's possessed because she wears a house coat and she just floats around.
And she also has no feet.
Yeah, you can't see her feet, and so she looks to be floating around the courtyard.
Is she also translucent?
No, but she's not strong physically, but she knocks on your door like it's the feds.
Oh.
You don't hear her coming up. You can hear everyone come up the stairs. I'm on the 2nd floor. You hear it, the pitter patter. You hear nothing. And all you hear is just do, do, do. And I'm like, how is she generating that force? And it's because she's possessed. And I've thought about dealing with it, but I don't know. I'm afraid. And I don't know. I think, she's getting up there and it might be looking for a new body. I feel bad because her daughter's such a nice person. I used to think my cousin was possessed because he was so bad when he was a kid. I used to just sort of just grab him and be like, I know who you are, just to try to. It never worked. He probably was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Cyrus, do you know anybody that's been possessed, do you think?
Possessed? I mean, I don't know if it's for sure possessed, but, when I was driving down Fountain the other day, around Fountain La Brea, like near Hollywood.
Oh, there are a lot of people that look like they're possessed there.
Yeah, I saw a woman just drop trout and take a shit in the middle of broad daylight. I don't know if that was demons or methamphetamines.
Right.
It could have been either one.
That's like a Dave Attell joke. I mean, he doesn't say that, but it's similar to it. He goes, New York is the only city where you can go, hey, look at that lady taking a shit in a tree. Not her, the other one.
You know what's wild is
That's
that
a good one.
What's wild is her ass was facing the intersection, so I literally saw it come out of her butt cheeks. I've never seen it that graphically
That
come
is
out like
bananas.
that. I've seen someone shit, but I've never seen full on. Oh, it's shit that's coming out.
You've seen someone
Yeah.
shit?
Oh, gosh.
It was broad daylight. It was noon. It was by Fat Sal's on.
But you say you've seen someone shit. What was the other?
I've seen it on TV or just out with some friends.
Oh,
Things
okay.
got out
Or
of
is
control,
that what
know?
you watch privately?
It's
Is
okay,
that
we
your
don't have
thing?
to-
You know, I'm deviant in many ways, but not that way, thankfully.
Kat, have you seen any?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know anybody who's been possessed?
No, but when my ex left, he thought I was possessed. It's not because of how I was behaving. It's because we had so much poltergeist activity in my place, and I wasn't scared.
right.
And we had just watched Paranormal Activity, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Right before she kills him, she's not scared, and she's like, "Everything's gonna be fine. We can stay." And I was like, "I'm not scared of all this poltergeist activity. Let's stay. We're good." And he's like, no. That was the end of the movie. And the next 10 minutes, she kills him. So I'm out.
Interesting.
No.
So he
Like
was scared
that
of me.
was one of the reasons he cited, kind of, or
Yeah, that and
That's-
20 other things.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
bananas.
It was definitely, if it was 10 things he listed, if you pick 5, we could make it work. But you add
Right.
the rest, and it's all he did. And he would check in on me after the breakup. He would be like, "Are you going to have a priest come to the condo?
That's crazy.
Make
you
sure
know-
you go to church."
He may have. I mean, has it continued? Because he may have been the one that brought it to you.
Great observation.
Yes.
Has it continued? It stopped not long after he left. So this is creepy. So a couple days after he moved out, up on the shelf, I was putting stuff away in my dresser, and there was a box of his belts on a shelf, and it fell. And it was like the ghost was like, "Good riddance. Fuck
did it
this
felt
guy.
like this?
He left the belt."
Did the belt sort of snake away?
No, they just, I didn't see, I was not facing.
Right.
It just, I heard a sound. I look, and they're on the ground.
You know what I'm thinking too? Because you've told us a few different things, and I'm starting to think maybe your place just isn't level.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not level.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he just it was just some contractor did a piss poor job.
Yeah.
And you're just on a slant. You don't notice it, but shit falls over. And,
That's going to tell the next guy who moves in with me. I'm going to be like,
Right,
look,
right.
it's not haunted. I am not possessed. It's just a shitty building.
just everything's on a slight incline that we can't perceive, but it's there. You know?
But I will say this. A couple days after he moved out, he was doing electrical stuff in his own condo and almost died. He touched something, it zapped, all the electric goes out, and he has an electrician come the next day, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you touched this. If you were a millimeter over, you'd be dead."
I wonder how many ghost stories can be attributed to bad contracting.
I think he was trying to shock himself because he knows he's possessed, and he was trying to shock the possession
there you
out of
go.
himself. You know.
Okay, there's a theory.
And let me just say, I know one other person who's possessed. I won't say his name or her name.
But his name starts with a K and ends with an I.
When we get off this thing, I'll break down his name, and then you'll be like, "Oh shit!" Right?
Okay.
But two, he says everything twice, and I think that's a part of people I've talked to. That's a part of being possessed because it's like he's saying it, and the thing inside of him is saying it as well.
Huh.
And there's a lot more to it, but I'll
Is that called a stammer? Like
A stutter?
Is that a stutter?
Is it Joe Biden?
No. He says
that's sad.
complete things twice.
Huh.
That's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Well, welcome. This is season 4, episode 3 of the award-winning unofficial official story. I'm Kat,
I'm Dwayne.
And I am Koji.
and this is where we tell you the official story. We look at the paranormal, conspiracies, unexplained phenomena, cryptids, and true crime, and by the end, we'll tell you what really maybe happened.
If you like the podcast, please be sure to share it with your friends and family, and even your enemies. You'll be doing a lot to help us keep bringing exciting and fun content every month.
In June, we celebrate Ronald Doe's birthday, who was the inspiration for maybe the best horror film movie of all time, The Exorcist. And we're asking a very important question: what really happened to Roland Doe?
But first, let's introduce our guest, comedian Cyrus Naderpour. Nearly 10 years ago, Cyrus quit his 6-figure job to pursue his dream of being a stand-up comedian. Since quitting his job, Cyrus has performed at major comedy clubs all across the country, was part of a Vegas residency, and has gone viral all over the web. He co-created and produced Freak Show, a successful variety show that ran for 6 years with fire eaters, burlesque acts, stunt performers, and drag acts. It captivated audiences nationwide. Cyrus closed each show with his stand-up comedy, earning accolades and filling venues like Improvs across the country, Levity Live, and even the Vegas residency. Expanding to digital content, Cyrus's in-your-face reaction videos and brash comedic style has gained over 80,000 followers on Instagram and 50,000 on TikTok. He's teamed up with internet sensation Franklin Marshall III to launch the Franklin and Cyrus podcast. The podcast just completed its 3rd season and is taking the internet by storm with rave reviews and a rapidly growing fan base. Hi, Cyrus.
Welcome. I
Thank
just
you.
want to say I also quit a 6-figure job, but you have to count the 2 spaces after the period on the right of the decimal.
Oh yeah. You know what? They count them. You know, count them.
Right.
What were you doing before?
I was in digital advertising, so I was in I was in
nice.
digital ad sales.
Any of that translated to promoting your comedy? And stuff?
You know what? For a long time, I avoided doing it.
Yes.
But with that Freak Show, that show we were running this like really small venue. We moved up to a bigger venue in North Hollywood, and we were about to lose a venue because we weren't bringing anyone in. But then, but what happened is one time we had this guy who was like a clown mime, which sounds awful. So we opened the show at Sideshow Acts. This guy was like a sideshow clown mime. He shared the post, and he was like an umpire of a roller derby league, and all those girls shared the post. So that event went viral.
Right.
And then so that we fill out the audience and then save the show. And then the next month it was kind of the same nonsense. No one was coming. So I ran some Facebook ads.
Right.
And so that kind of saved the show. And the reason that show was successful was through Facebook advertising.
Oh wow! So what was why didn't you want to go that route?
What, advertising or?
Yeah, like
You know,
to apply that to your comedy show and your shows.
You know, I had a really dumb idea when I stopped working professionally. I thought, I'm done working professionally. Now I'm going to be an artist, so I can put all that behind me. And that was stupid. That was not how this works at all.
You're vastly misinformed.
Incredibly misinformed.
Everyone, listen. That's the biggest thing. Like working for yourself is way harder than working for someone else.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
absolutely.
Did you always know you wanted to be a comedian, though? Or what was the...
No, I mean, it wasn't on my radar, really. Like, in hindsight, things made sense. But at the time, I had immigrant parents. My dad's like Persian, my mom's Polish. And like when I was growing up, it's like you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get a math degree, or you're gonna get like a business degree or a science degree. Like go to college, get a good degree, get a job. So arts is not on the radar for me at all. I busted my shoulder snowboarding, and I was at home bored. I couldn't really do anything. I was just like popping pain pills, watching stand up, smoking weed. I mean, there's nothing else to do, right? And then I was watching stand up, and I'm just like, you know what, I could do this.
Right.
And then And then I tried it. I was going to go and do it. And my friends were like, maybe you should take a class first. I was like, I don't need a fucking class. I'm just going to do it. And then I Googled classes, and I saw this one class where you're going to show at the Laugh Factory at the end. He's like, I don't even need the show. Nice. I just need I don't need the class. I just want this show at the end.
Smart.
You know why I thought I could do that? I'd never seen stand-up live before I tried it.
Right.
That's why I thought I could do it. Because I remember when I saw on the graduation show and I saw like a real comedian doing hosting, I'm like, oh, this is stand-up. This is fucking insane.
And whose class did you take, by the way?
It was LA stand-ups. I got really lucky. A lot of these classes are like really dog shit. This was actually a decent class. Right. But it wasn't like those classes where the guy comes in, I'm going to write your jokes for you. Like, I have the system. Like, those are the worst. It was kind of like the first half of the class was like theory. Like, he would write up a joke and he'd watch a joke. Like, what was the setup? What was the punchline? And then after the second half was just like an open mic, basically. We just did comedy and we gave each other notes. So I got lucky with that. Some people took like, there's like the second level and the third level. I was like, I'm just going to take the first and be out in the wild.
What did your immigrant parents think of this new career?
I didn't tell them for a while. And so I still worked for 2 years and saved a bunch of money.
So you doing stand-up was a lot like a teen pregnancy?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to wait till it's showing.
My parents thought, I didn't
Wait
talk.
till it's showing. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great joke. My parents, at one point, like I waited 2 years. I quit my job. That really pissed my parents off. At one point, I didn't talk to my dad for like a year and a half.
Whoa.
Like it was like he got so mad he just didn't talk to me for a while. That worked out eventually.
When I told my mom I wanted to be a writer, she told me find a successful Asian American screenwriter.
Yeah.
And then I could do it. And I was like, and I looked and I couldn't find anybody.
I thought you were about to say find a successful Asian American wife.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Marry her and then do it.
Well, that was my plan. I tell my students that all the time. You can't marry someone in the industry. They should be making a lot of money.
You want to have the healthcare covered.
Yeah, you need the healthcare, but you also have the money.
It's great advice to tell your kids not to go to the arts, honestly.
Yes, I 100%.
100%. Like, it's a great advice to tell them.
Go be an engineer. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
fantastic.
be a plumber. I mean, especially with the AI revolution coming, you're gonna need a plumber.
Yeah.
You know, like plumbers are like middle of the night. You having plumbing issues.
Yeah.
That's like you could charge so much money for that.
All right, let's get this story straight once and for all.
Yes, let's do it.
Word.
Our story begins in January 1949 in Washington, D.C. 12-year-old Roland Doe, a pseudonym, started acting weird. During the day, he was fine, but at night, he would scream and go into trances, make strange guttural noises, and speak in Latin. Anyone brave enough to try to make these guttural noises? Anybody want to make those guttural noises?
No, but that does sound like me after eating Chipotle. On fire today.
Chipotle caught a stray. Should be Taco Bell or Del Taco. I don't want to because I may sound awful, but also, who knows? I may just summon something I don't mean to summon. You know what I mean?
It's like the people that go to the gym, you know, when they like lift a lot. Right. Like they make a lot of noises. That's what every time I hear one, I laugh because I always think, oh, this guy's possessed.
That's funny. He's going to get a hernia. Yeah. What were the causes of this behavior? According to lore, Roland was sad about an aunt passing. This aunt was a spiritualist who taught him how to use a Ouija board.
Oh, boy.
No.
Have any of you ever used a Ouija board?
We got one at a garage sale, so extra creepy once
that's
when I
worse.
was like 7, and I tried using it, but luckily it never worked.
I'm surprised that happened. You're like a Christian household. I'm surprised they let that slide.
That was when we were Catholic still.
Oh, wow. That's
even
great.
worse.
Yeah, even worse. Yeah.
But you can buy a Ouija board like at Toys R Us, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, do you think they all have power, or
don't
just
know.
every
Have you ever used
few?
this?
You know what's funny about Ouija boards? So on our podcast, we had a Halloween episode, and we broke out a Ouija board for one scene, and when we opened the Ouija board, like the camera quality went down.
Oh.
Like the whole thing went, like the camera got messed up, everything,
Whoa.
like the visually changed. And when we did the Ouija board thing and we packed things up, the camera went back to normal.
That is wild.
It's wild.
I have a friend from high school who told me a story, and she could have been making it up, but that she tried to play with a Ouija board to contact her dead dad. And nothing really happened with it. And then her mom was like, you need to throw that away. And so she's like, okay. Because it was a Christian household. She throws it away. She wakes up the next morning. It's in her closet. And so she throws it away
Sounds
again.
like a fake story.
It's in her closet again. And then she said, finally, she decided to just set it on fire. And that when she set it on fire, it sounded like screaming sounds.
This sounds like a movie.
Yeah, this sounds like
This sounds like I was.
This is
Was I lied to?
First-hand account that they told you.
Yeah. Was I lied to?
That might have been Johnson.
Yeah.
Either that
Okay.
or her mom. You know how like you eat a piece of cake, you're not supposed to, and your mom makes you eat the whole cake. Just to
Wait,
teach
what are
her
you
a lesson.
talking about?
Oh, you're saying the mom went and took it out of the garbage and put it that
The
way
mom
she would
had to teach her a
learn.
lesson,
That's actually funny.
I actually
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's probably what happened.
Probably.
So the mom wanted to be like, it's like even if you smoke and they make you smoke the whole pack, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
just so you get so gross, you get so sick that you don't do it again.
So
a good
when she
idea.
set
That's a
it
good
on
idea.
fire, the mom was like behind her going like,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
That's the guttural noises.
So, what are some signs of a possession? There were scratching noises coming from the floors and walls, water drip from pipes and walls, and the mattress would suddenly move.
The family went to a doctor who could not help Roland. Eventually, they went to a Jesuit priest while they performed the exorcism. Roland was strapped to the bed, but Roland broke out off a piece of the mattress spring and slashed the priest, stopping the exorcism.
Whoa.
A few days after this, the words Louis were scratched on Roland's body, and his mother bleed. It meant they needed to go to St. Louis, where they had an extended family.
Which doesn't make any sense because if the demon is writing Lewis, why did you listen to the demon?
I don't think it's St. Louis. That's not the first thing I would think of.
No, but well, because they had family in St. Louis. So
Yeah, but I would think it was like Joe Louis.
I think I read somewhere that
wow.
that aunt was from St. Louis or
Oh, was that what it was?
something. There was
okay.
a connection with her in
Oh,
St.
okay.
Louis.
I must have missed that.
But also, like, he's 14. He's writing, I guess, upside down. Which is not super hard, but that's impressive. If he was doing it himself, I'm saying, because he had to scratch it into his body. And he had to like look down and make sure the L. It's not easy to.
Was he trying to write
It's
like
not the hardest thing in the world, but it's
he's
it's
trying to
not
write
the easiest.
penis?
That's the least supernatural part of this story, by the way.
So the family went to St. Louis and began many weeks of exorcisms. During one session, a scratched X appeared on Roland's body, which they took to mean there were 10 demons inside. Another time, a scratched pitchfork appeared on his body. At one point, Roland urinated all over himself and yelled at the priest. The parents had enough and took him to the hospital again.
I don't know. If you had an X, do you think 10? Is that the first thing you think?
No.
I was thinking straight edge.
I would
I think it's a cross.
I would think there was a treasure buried. I'd be like, let's cut him open.
I wouldn't think 10. That's
That's a
really-
weird thing.
Maybe VI, IV. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, well, it depends. If it's an X with like the line on the top and the line on the bottom,
yeah, like the
then I would
Roman.
think it was Roman
Yeah.
numeral. But if it's just a regular X, it's up to interpretation.
And a pitchfork is a weird thing for the devil to write. I mean, if you were the devil, would you really do a pitchfork on a body?
No, but it might be the ghost of an Arizona State Sun Devil.
Oh my god!
That's more scary, honestly. I can handle the devil. Some like douche fuckboy possess me, I'm out, bro.
It's a frat guy.
Not even like a good school. Like at least like an Ivy League possess me. I gotta.
Didn't James Harden go there? Too?
Yeah, I mean, it's a top 10 party school. So.
Yeah, guess
I
some
went
party
there.
boys.
I like only went to party schools. I went to Arizona
Santa
State
Barbara.
and
Really?
ECSP
You went to Arizona State?
for one semester.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Did you fail out?
No, I almost joined a cult and I left and got married instead.
You joined a cult, like a religious cult?
Yeah.
You're like the only person that didn't find the bottle at Arizona State.
Wait, what?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Now the possession thing is coming back.
All right. So the exorcisms continued at the hospital. And in a final exorcism, the priest laid relics, crucifixes, and other holy items on the boy, like a sushi at one of those places. He put sushi on a person. Right. And Roland allegedly told the priest that Satan would always be with him. And the priest shouted that they would battle Satan for the boy's soul. Rock, paper, scissors, let's do it. 7 minutes later, Roland exited his trance and said he was gone. According to accounts at the time, Roland had a vision that St. Michael had beaten Satan on a battlefield.
Wow. I wonder what were their weapons. I would like to think it was a dance-off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was also really quick.
You
like
got served.
It's a lot of show. Like Satan's like, yeah, I'm going to keep this kid forever. And then St. Michael's like, no, you're not.
Like
It
7
is like
minutes
that.
later.
It's over.
Yeah.
That is kind of crazy.
I feel the devil could really punch up his writing, honestly. It's kind of too on the nose, frankly.
Although if this was happening in real, I mean, if it was really happening, 7 minutes would feel like a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it had been weeks and weeks.
yeah, no, but the 7 minutes of fighting
Right,
this
right.
last battle part.
So why did St. Michael take so long to show up, though? Like, why did it take a whole month? There's a long list of other people who are currently possessed. St. Michael is currently in Washington, D.C., doing a lot of
Yeah.
fighting.
Could be having another timeline, you know. Time could work differently wherever this battle's
That's true.
happening.
See, the guy who
That's
I
true.
know who was possessed, I've talked to people about it. Someone suggested I put a little holy water on my hand, but they didn't give me the next move. You know what I mean? So I'm afraid, okay, we're going to make this a thing. I put the holy water on. Hey, man, what's up? I shake his hand. If he goes, what am I going to do next? Right now,
What if it goes into you?
exactly, which is why I've never punched him. I wanted to punch him a few times, but I'm like, I can't punch this guy. He's going to
Yeah.
transfer. So, yeah, these priests, they were super brave. I think it all comes down to the support system. This kid had a support system.
What if it goes into you?
The priests, the hospitals? Me? No, I got a support system, yeah.
I
I
also
told people, if I start acting crazy, just right away, just do everything you got to do.
My guess is this. There's nothing about that in here. But why did it take for so long for St. Michael to show up? There must have been one of the relics that they had this time that they didn't have last time.
yeah.
Like a
Yes,
special extra thing,
Or
special cross or,
the kid just
item.
the kid just got tired of doing it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, this has been a
They won't stop.
It was all a
Maybe like prayers and stuff, they're like IT tickets, right? And he just finally got to that ticket.
yeah.
You know? That's
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
see it.
my first house we bought was a short sale, and which is like this process.
When the bank is selling it.
Yeah, when they it doesn't go to foreclosure, it's before foreclosure.
Yeah.
And there's a point to the story. Trust me. And it was Wells Fargo. Like there was a certain time the escrow had to be done, and we were waiting for the bank to fax it. And I'd call the bank and be like, "Have you faxed it?" They're like, "It's in a stack, and we fax it one at a time." And like when we get to yours, we'll fax it. I'm like, "But if it's not here by 12, we don't get this house."
Right.
And so I was like, "Can I come over there and fax the other ones before you get to mine, so I could get to mine faster?" It was just like this, like really, like it was just like a stack, and they finally got it in. But it was just like, I was like, "Well, first of all, who faxes shit?"
Yeah.
But second of all, it was just like this like long line. So I imagine like St. Michael sitting up there. He's like, the next one.
Yeah.
They're just faxing shit the whole time.
Yeah. And they've been around since the start of time, so the tech up there is probably pretty old too.
Yeah,
Outdated.
that's true.
You know what I love about that story is it reminds me, you go to the Apple store, or it's the Apple store, right? Mac store, Apple store, whatever they call it. And like your hard drive crashed.
Yeah.
Like this is DEF CON, whatever, 9. I don't know how DEF CONs work. But your hard drive crashed and you're like, yo, I need to speak to a quote unquote genius. We need to get on this.
Yeah.
All my data's on this. And then you're waiting in line and the two people before you are like, how do I use the iPod? And you're like, there's got to be some triage here, people. Like, they just want to know how to use their phone. My hard drive crashed. I don't care if they were here first. You know what I mean? If you go to a hospital, you got a gunshot. You don't wait for the guy with sniffles. You jump the guy with sniffles.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like St. Michael
Yeah.
was just sort of like, he was doing some minor possessions.
Yeah,
Some
he
people
had
just-
an NBA Finals to win. You
Right,
know?
right.
Somebody had to win a Country Music Award.
Right, exactly.
And then
Exactly.
save the kid.
So it came out later that Roland Doe was actually Roland Hunkler. How do you say that name?
Yeah, I think so.
Hunkler. Okay, anyway. After this incident, he became a NASA engineer and worked on space missions during the 1960s, including creating a patented technology to help the space shuttle panels withstand extreme heat.
You know what that was used on? The Challenger. That's why it fell.
Oh,
I'm kidding. That's not why. That's misinformation. But did I get you? Did I get you? No, that's a whole other podcast.
But you know what's crazy is I think his name is Ronald though. I think not Roland.
Roland?
I think his actual name is Ronald. When I looked it up,
I think it's,
maybe it's Roland.
I don't know. We'll look it
We'll
up.
check it out. But also extreme heat, which is interesting because he had to withstand
Hell.
extreme heat when he went. Yeah, he went for his
Oh.
visit, and that gave him the idea because he probably was when Saint Michael was battling the devil. What he came up with was some sort of ceramic thing that could.
Yeah.
So he's probably the battling. The kid is watching the battle, he's eating his popcorn. He notices like this is hell burning, but that structure's in place. What is that? And then he remembered that it was ceramic.
Yeah.
And then later on, he's at NASA.
Maybe.
When Saint Michael was battling the devil, ceramic.
Yeah.
Boom.
But when the rest of you guys are imagining Saint Mike battling the devil, is it anime in your head too? Because it's like it looks like Pokemon battles in my head.
Pokemon.
Like fantasy? Like a fantasy album
Yeah,
cover?
something like that.
You know, I think the real question about Roland is: does he, when he has icebreakers at work, does he use? Hey, I was the kid that's inspired the Exorcist.
You know,
That is a hell
he
of an
never talked
icebreaker.
about
it,
Nobody
it
knew.
didn't come out till like almost close to his death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That'd be hell. Like first day of work, say something fun about yourself. I was possessed by the devil when I was 14.
I wonder if he saw the movie and then what did he think of it? You know,
He probably did.
the movie they changed many of the facts. For example, they changed Roland from a 12-year-old boy to a 12-year-old girl, In the movie, the scratches that appear on the child say "Help me" instead of Lewis.
I like the help me better.
Help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more cinematic.
Yeah.
More importantly, the head spinning and the crawling on the ceiling have never been confirmed or denied.
Ooh.
There we go. That was a good part right there.
What does ChatGPT think? ChatGPT, is Roland Doe's story true?
As of my last update in January 2022, there's no widely known or documented story about someone named Roland Doe. It's possible that Roland Doe could be a fictional character or a figure from a lesser known story. If Roland Doe refers to a recent event or a figure that has emerged since my last update, I wouldn't have information on it. Could you provide more context or details about Roland Doe's story? That way, I can try to assist you better.
That was lame. Let's ask another question. Can a person be possessed?
Belief in possession varies among cultures and religions, but from a scientific standpoint, it's not supported. Psychological or medical conditions often explain behaviors associated with possession rather than supernatural causes.
Okay, so your neighbor just walks very quietly and smoothly. I think that's what we're...
I mean, this is a base level. Blackout drunk. People, they reach blackout drunk status, and then 4 hours of things happen, and then they don't remember. It's not a quote, it's not exactly a possession, but it's just an example of how people can be sort of detached from their body.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And that's through a chemical, but I think, it can happen without a chemical. My buddy, no question.
He's possessed.
Okay.
Right? No
So in some like Christian circles, there is the idea that when you are, either very drunk or otherwise using something like
A Ouija board.
hallucinogen. I was thinking more along the
Yeah,
drug,
yeah.
mushrooms, like LSD or whatever, that you are opening doors. They talk about that a lot. So you're potentially letting something possess you. And I was thinking about doing mushrooms, and then I remembered that I live in a haunted house. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. But yeah, so I wonder, like, is it the substances? Is it the alcohol and hallucinogens, or is it a possession that could happen while somebody is on that because they're in a weakened state? That's a thought about possession.
It's like they say the witching hour, or like, I think it's sort of like 4 or 5 a.m., 4
I think
a.m.
it's 3 a.m.
3 a.m. is where like
It's when the baby
the
goes to
other
sleep.
realm has more power, or
Yeah, it's when the baby goes to sleep.
Is there a specific baby or just babies?
Well,
in general?
babies in general, because what happens is that when women are pregnant and they're moving around during the day, it lulls the baby to sleep, and at night when they're still, the baby is up.
Oh,
And so when they come out of the womb, that's why they're used to being sleep in the day. That's why like parents are tired. But then at night they stay up because that's when they're used to being up. And so then they fall asleep, and then but the parents are all like losing it.
so you're saying if you, while pregnant, if a woman,
change your schedule, you'd be better.
if she keeps sort of this weird nighttime schedule,
They
to
would
the baby.
The baby would sleep during the day.
there'll probably be some other problems with being up all night and pregnant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's why it makes sense though. When you think about
Probably.
it, like the baby being rocked to sleep when they walk around.
Here's a thought: is pregnancy possession?
right. Well, in a way,
Technically,
right?
Yeah, it is.
It's more like cohabitation.
Cohabitation.
Here's the thing: what you do is you don't keep weird hours. You keep regular hours, but you move to Australia while you're pregnant. And then, after the baby's born, you come back to the U.S., boom, boom, he's on a different schedule,
Nice.
syncs
But
up
then
to
you
the
have to have
regular.
the baby on the plane.
No, you have the baby in Australia.
No, but I mean, you have to take the baby on the plane. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all the people
Oh,
give
yeah,
you
yeah.
all these, people are so
That's
unpleasant
supposed
about
to.
it.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
But that's a long flight if the baby cries the
Yeah,
whole
the baby's
way.
going to
Oh,
cry
yeah.
the whole way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, it's time to put on our thinking caps and think about what really happened to Roland Doe. When we return, we'll settle this once and for all and figure out what really maybe happened. Okay, now that we've reviewed the evidence, let's give our theories.
For the record, I think this guy was just possessed. His aunt was, you know what I mean? I think he was. And he lived a very regular life after this, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of what we're doing, my theory is that he actually got like a really horrible case of like food poisoning, be it food poisoning or maybe a tapeworm or something like that lingered, and they didn't know what it was, and which is why in the movie she throws up the green. Yeah, it's just like the worst case of food poisoning in the history, and it just cleared up when it cleared up. You know what I mean? And everything he did was in response to that. Like, they say, I guess your gut health biome or whatever they call it it's sort of like a second nervous system, a second brain. And so, be it a tapeworm or whatever it was just driving him crazy until it passed. And it just synced up with all the exorcism stuff.
Okay, so mine is pretty simple. So Roland was actually secretly gay.
Oh.
And he wanted his parents, who would never accept it because they were super religious. And so his thing was like, well, maybe if I act like I'm possessed, when I get better, they'll be okay with anything I am.
It's like our movie.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So they're like, well, he's gay, but at least he's not possessed by the devil anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly like our movie.
Yeah,
In a different way.
In a different way,
We
though,
wrote a
yeah.
movie called Love Bait. Yeah. Anyway.
But that's my theory. It's just he was secretly gay, and this was he couldn't think of another way to get out of it with his parents.
I love that. I thought you were going to go a
acceptance.
different way. That's
with
really
aliens.
cool.
I was going to go with aliens
Yeah,
first.
that's what I thought, yeah.
But I like this gay thing because I think it.
You like the gay thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the gay thing? This is releasing in June, right?
Yes.
Ties in with Pride Month.
It's
So that's
Pride
really
Month.
great.
Yes.
That's a really great.
That's a great tie-in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great tie-in.
It is.
Really
Smart.
good. Very well done.
Okay, my theory is that this is all his rebellion. I think he was really angry that his aunt died, and he just kind of went into an episode of just anger. And then this very religious family starts doing these exorcisms, and he's like, "Fuck you! Like, get off of me!" And he's just getting like really perturbed by like all these people they're like throwing holy water on him,
Right.
probably tying him down, and he's like, "Get the fuck off me!" And they're like, "Oh my god, it's a demon!"
So he
And it
needed
just, like,
grief
got worse.
counseling more than he needed an exorcism.
Yeah, because I was listening to another podcast, kind of hearing what they were saying about it, and they quoted that he was farting on them and pissing on them, and calling them like bastards and stuff. You fucking assholes. And I'm like, oh, that just sounds like an angry person who wants people to leave him alone, so he's farting on them.
Maybe because he was gay. Oh, I'm just saying. we can join forces. That's 2 votes if we go with it.
I think possessions are real. I don't think they're. You know what I think is happening? I think there's multiple. I think there's multiple planes, the dimensions of existence that we can't really perceive.
Absolutely.
And I think what these possessions are, they're entities from other dimensions entering into our world. I can see it happening. You know what's really funny about Ouija boards? So I watched this movie. It was called The Pope's Exorcist.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it was based on a book. And I thought I went on Audible to down listen to the book because I thought it was like a fun, like a scary storybook.
Right.
It was actually an exorcist's like manual on how to exorcise demons.
Oh, wow.
Can you come over to my place to check
Yeah.
my condo and
Sure,
do
yeah.
the exorcism?
Yeah, we'll play the book and run through the steps. He said a lot of things, but he said Ouija boards are like one of the things. Like, yeah, all the time people use Ouija boards, they get possessed by demons. It happens all the time. And it was interesting. He said like, he's like, whenever I possess someone, I haven't talked to. He has a psychiatrist he works with. So I have the psychiatrist review him first, make sure he's not schizophrenic, and then the psychiatrist says, "Hey, not me. It's not. It's a otherworldly. I come in." But I don't know. There's always these religious things about it. I don't know about all the religious stuff, but I do think I think all this like cryptids, I think all this paranormal stuff, I think it's as being entities from another dimension entering our universe.
So an entity from another dimension entered Roland.
Yeah.
And he was possessed. So he was possessed.
I
But it was
think
an
he was
entity
possessed.
from another.
If you think about it, the Beastie Boys, they said another dimension.
Yeah.
Another
I think something that's something with emotional things as well. When you have a heightened sense of emotion, I think you're more open to interacting with these higher
Right.
dimensions.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the
Yeah.
exorcists or people who have been possessed, they're usually like 13, 14-year-old boys and girls, right?
Yeah.
Mostly. Because that's that time where like.
My buddy, it happened when he had a major thing happen.
But no,
Yeah.
but usually it's like when you're like in that like even like poltergeists or similar, like when the girls are 13, 14 years old.
There's usually a traumatic event that
Yeah.
sparks off this.
Or you're in that weird transition.
Yeah,
phase
exactly.
Of your life. Yeah, that's interesting.
Right. What I like about that is, it maybe this is not exactly what you're saying, but if you believe in like souls, right? We all have
Yeah.
a soul. There's something about a child being born, and then when does the soul enter their body? And is it like when they take the first breath? Is it before that? Clearly not exactly at conception. And so when you're young, you just have a closer, the portal is more open to whatever
Yeah.
those dimensions
Yeah.
are. And around that age, 13, 14, is when it would close. Because by the time you're 16, you're just, just a bratty teenager,
Yeah.
But I think there's something about being a kid and having access to that, be it imaginary friends, be it,
Yeah.
whatever. You just have access to the other dimensions.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I always had imaginary friends, for sure. And also, I claimed that I saw a ghost, but I was aware that I was telling a lie. But then now that I look back, I was like 3. I'm like, was I lying though? Or was I inspired by the ghost to say that?
Right.
The more you talk, the less I want to visit your house.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of scary, honestly.
It's a great place. But no, there is something to that whole emotional thing, though, because every time, looking back at my haunting experience, every time we had the paranormal activity in some way, things were emotionally heightened between us. Like we were like fighting or about to break up, or I found out he had a new girlfriend and all of a sudden like shit starts falling off the walls again.
Right.
Like, what? Maybe I am possessed.
Yeah. Or your contractor was possessed.
But there's also a theory like that it's energy, right?
Yeah, energy.
And so it could be possession, it could be portals to other dimensions, just pure energy. Like you and him created an energy. Like I know he's in the news and he's kind of like persona non grata, and he's probably really happy that the Drake Kendrick thing is happening. But they say Sean Puffy Combs, it's pretty documented that he like breaks monitors. Like he looks at monitors and they break.
Wait, what? I've never heard of
Whoa.
Yeah. And I think it's just because he just has so much energy, which maybe he's used for evil, because he's just a ball of energy. So he's just constantly looking to expel energy, and maybe he kind of got evil with it, perhaps.
Maybe it's a power he obtained on Epstein's Island.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe. But it's something about like you guys arguing. I don't invite that kind of stuff. I think I have good energy. But I don't invite it. So I'm like, if there was a portal, I'd lock the door, put the chain on it, not open it. You know what I mean? But just because I don't know what's over there. I don't know if I could control it. But just you and him having that energy.
Well, I will say this. We were both Virgos, right? And all these times where shit started happening, full moons. I shit you not. I don't even believe in horoscopes.
I don't even know what that means, but...
No, the moon was a whole circle.
Full moon.
Full moon.
Well, I understand full moon, but I don't understand the Virgo part.
Virgo. That was our...
They
We
born
both...
in like
in September.
August, September, yeah.
It's the same sign.
Very-
And then I've
Michael
never
Jackson
had
was
that.
a Virgo. Very neat people, right?
Point being, freaky shit, right? Yes. Weird stuff. And now, at this point at the show, it's time for us to pick the unofficial official story. One that will answer this question once and for all. So which theory do we want to go with today? We get to vote.
Well, I'm going to just say that it is Pride Month, so we should honor that community.
But do we honor them by picking the theory? I'm not sure.
But it's associated with exorcisms, more satanic evil.
Well, no. It didn't happen, but it just shows the history of people not accepting them.
Right.
So maybe this is a story about acceptance.
Or maybe my theory is that his aunt was the only one who accepted him for
There
being
you go.
gay.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
So when she died, he was so upset.
So I'm voting for mine and yours combined.
Okay.
Are you going to vote for mine and yours combined?
I vote for ours combined.
Okay, cool. Now it's 2-0, so it's up to Dwayne and Cyrus.
You know what? I wish I didn't look up if he had kids and all of that stuff. Not that would... He could still be
still
gay,
have
right?
kids, yeah.
I mean, I like them all. The food poisoning wasn't super strong, but there's something to it. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been to Pakistan and I got food poisoning. You do expel some, anyway.
I thought food poisoning is more like cleansing. Like I'm clean when I'm done, as opposed to I'm open to the devil. Like the devil's out once I'm done.
But to get to the clean, you got to go through hell to get there. You know what I mean? But I like Koji's actually. I think that. I mean, at 14, would he be that depth and that cunning to come up with that? But it is a kind of speaks to the time, and I'm sure that was super not acceptable. So I love that theory.
I love how he went to he's gay with zero proof of any of his sexuality.
right. That's what we do here. Yes.
Zero proof of sexuality. Clearly gay. Had to have been. It's like what?
Where do we get that?
That's the best way to come up with.
I've seen ceramic before. Gay.
No, seriously. And the thing is, they actually changed. They changed a lot for the movie because not only was it a boy. I guess when the part where her head spins, his head didn't spin. It just went like this, and he said, "Hey."
There you go. Now it's coming together.
You went really far to get to that.
Yeah. Usually people go that far, it wasn't worth the trip, but that was worth the trip. Right?
All right, well, it doesn't matter, but Cyrus, you might as well vote.
I'll go with yours if the the gayness opened a portal.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I think that's bordering on homophobic. We can't make the gayness open a portal to hell.
No, that's true.
There's
That's
a limit.
true.
Well, the
No,
loss
he's saying
of
he
the
was
loss.
faking it.
Yeah.
To get his parents' acceptance.
Yeah. Whatever he was feeling opened a portal. I'll hop on board.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. And that's the official story. We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll be talking to the dead.
If we could talk to a dead celebrity or historical figure, who would you talk to, and what would you ask them?
I misread this. I thought it was any historical figure, so I have to rethink mine. That kind of makes more sense. They have to be dead.
Yeah, they have to be dead.
Anyone good die recently?
Anybody could die recently.
I mean, I may have more than one answer because what comes to mind is Christ, and what I'd ask him is like, "Hey, man, so what happened?
What happened?
Like, just what happened? You know what I mean? And then if not him, then probably I guess Galileo. Because didn't Galileo conceive of submarines before they existed?
Oh yeah.
So I'd want to just ask him. I'd pick his brains. I also think he like designed a suspension bridge like years, like
He did everything.
centuries before they made it.
Yeah.
So I would just want to talk to him and ask him where he gets it from, because there's something going on there too to be that far ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a specific question, but just to hang out with a genius and see where he's at.
I've got two. One, since I've been feeling a little bit broke lately, I'd want to talk to a pirate, like Blackbeard, and be like, tell me where the treasure is. I'm going to find it. Like, let me know where all this...
When you said broke, I thought literally like emotionally broke.
That too. We're so evolved.
When you're talking about like broke.
That's how well you guys know me. You're like, probably it's emotional, right? No. I'm feeling better emotionally. Now it's my bank account. I would want to talk to a pirate, find out where the gold is, get that gold, and then not be broke anymore.
That's probably like the least practical financial advice you could get.
You could talk to some Wall Street person.
Yeah, the Wall Street guys.
They're not going to know what's going on. Unless it's somebody who's like a dead Wall Street guy, who, like maybe, not one of Bernie Madoff's associates who died.
But you could ask him where the money is. I'm pretty sure he
Where's
didn't spend
money?
all of it. It's
I want to know
somewhere.
where the money is. Or Marilyn Monroe, because I want to know. There's so much shit that they say about her, about like who she slept with, did she or didn't she hook up with JFK,
She did. She
and
definitely
also
did. Yeah, she
RFK.
definitely did.
Well, like
Yeah,
both
she
brothers at the same time, like in the movie Challengers. Like what?
Probably. Yeah, they're deviants.
Yeah, but I want to know. I want to know for sure. Like, what is the truth from her? I think that would be an interesting thing. It's the silliest, dumbest one, but you know what? That's how I feel.
You know what's funny? Mine is a marriage of both Cat and Dwayne. So mine is I would want to talk to Christ, and I would ask him who's going to win a Super Bowl next year.
There we go.
Nice.
So that I would just put all my money, I'd sell everything I have, put it all on that, and hopefully he wouldn't screw me.
Yeah.
Right.
He might say like the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know.
And then afterwards, if you lose all your money, he's be like, "Look, it's easier for a needle to wait. What is it? It's easier for a rich
camel.
man
Yeah, it's easier
for a camel.
A poor person enter heaven.
It's easier for a rich man to fit through an eye of a needle than it is for him to get into heaven.
That wow, I'm a bad Christian.
I thought it was a camel that fit through an eye of a needle.
The general message is fuck the rich, eat the rich.
right.
Yeah,
What?
which is not what the Christian conservatives today believe.
No, not at all.
Cyrus, what about you?
So, Christ one inspired me. Who was Mary married to? Was it Joseph?
Yes.
Joseph? I want to talk to Joseph. Be like, yo, was it weird? Like, how was that like? What were the vibes like? You got cucked by God? Was it awkward? Like, let's see what that was like. We're never going to hear his side of the story.
That's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because he quite possibly got gaslit, like the biggest gaslit of
gaslit of the century.
I mean, was he
Yeah,
watching?
yeah.
Like, was he watching it while it was happening?
Maybe
That's a
was he
cuckold
sitting in the
right
chair? This was like the clutching set out.
He's like, he's not the son of God. That's Jeff.
All right. Well, thank you, Cyrus, for coming on with us. Please tell us where people can follow you and hear your podcast.
Yes, the podcast is the Franklin Cyrus podcast. It's at the Franklin Cyrus Pod on all platforms. I am the Cyrus Show. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well, so you can follow me there.
Thank you, Cyrus. Make sure you guys follow him. And thank you all so much for listening. There are almost 3 million podcasts. We're honored you chose ours. Please check out our website, unofficialofficialstory.com, for show notes or to hear past episodes. Please follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
And we'd love to hear from you. You can send us a message by clicking on the Contact Us button on our website, or you can even leave us a voicemail. Click on the microphone button at the bottom of the page. Tell us what we got right, or tell us what we got wrong. Tell us how much you love us, or, well, maybe hate us, I guess. I won't read it, though. Or if there's a topic you think we should cover, or do you think you make the perfect guest, let us know.
And please consider writing a review of our show on whatever platform you listen to podcast on. We know it's a pain in the butt, but it does go a long way in helping the show. It helps us reach new listeners, grow our show, and most importantly, it enables us to keep putting out the content that we hope you enjoy.
Please join us next month when we celebrate the anniversary of the Roswell crash by asking, what if aliens are real?
They are real. We've already established
Definitely real.
this.
Definitely. And I think on some podcast episodes we've said they're Asians. Is that what?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of theories that the gray aliens are actually Asians. And it's a whole stereotype thing, like hairless, small.
Is it Asians from the
robotic.
future? Like you could guys become the robots?
No, that like
gray robots?
Asians are descendants of the gray aliens.
Oh, you're descendants of it.
But one of the things is that they say Asians are hairless, but I have hair on my chest.
Yeah, I don't think they're Asians.
Yeah, no. Maybe Asians in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
But like Asians today, no, I don't see that.
Yeah.
I do think that they are they're our ancestors. Maybe. Yeah, that's my theory.
I think the Greys are robots. They're like synthetic androids.
That's why people say that they're Asians, because they think Asians are robotic. So there's one theory about Roswell, which was that Stalin heard about what happened after the War of the Worlds broadcast and how everyone freaked out. And so he thought he's going to cause chaos throughout the United States by sending mentally challenged people in a weather balloon over the United States and crash it into the country. And that's like one of the, so all those like aliens that they found were actually mentally challenged Russian children.
It sounds like a South Park sketch.
But what's more crazy, that aliens fell from the sky or Soviet mentally challenged children?
I would say Soviet children's crazier.
It's neck and neck.
I believe that last time.
And it depends on where they launched that balloon from. I mean, from maybe near Alaska.
Or, I mean, you could just do it from a coast.
Yeah.
The submarine comes up.
Or it could be spies. Like they could have launched it like in the U.S. on the continental soil. Just get the people. So that's you guys got a special treat. You've got theories before there's even an episode.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.